Most of us now and then see in the news that honeybees have a survival problem. Even after a little correction for it, it's still maybe 30 to 40% of all hives that die off each year. That's higher than beekeepers can manage easily. And beekeeping is something you really have to learn. I don't know much about it. I've never been in beekeeping, but first lesson from bees, like the ones behind me, you give the bee its space, it'll probably give you your space. And that's true of all nature. Honeybees and maybe monarch butterflies are well-known pollinators. Just 2 of thousands, maybe more than thousands. We depend on all pollinators, and they all have a problem that is about the same as that for the honeybee. There isn't any one reason for their demise. Bees are a creature of the environment around them, and the beekeeper has to keep that in mind and really think. What are the problems? Poor nutrition, parasites, pathogens, and pesticides. And any one of those can do in a bee. And so healthy bees are in balance with the nature around them without any one factor really invading their space to where they can't survive. Well, we know about honeybees a little bit. We know a whole lot less about pollinators in general, and we utterly depend on them for our crops, as well for the pollination of all the rest of nature on which we depend. We forget that. You can take a lesson from the bees. Now, one old lesson was called the Fable of the Bees, and we probably got the wrong lesson from that in trying to correct it. That old problem was, the bees acting in their own self-interest form a hive, and they collectively prosper. Maybe not. Maybe the bees just act in their own collective interest instinctively, and they make a lot of honey if the rest of nature doesn't disrupt what they do. So, what's the lesson? Well, a lot of what we do disrupts nature. If we continue to disrupt nature, it's going to disrupt us, and maybe big time. And we don't see it coming because we don't see bees. We don't see other pollinators. We don't see. We're off on our own little track doing what we think is a good thing, and that may be true even if we have some magic solution we think to the environmental problems we have. The question you have to ask always, whether you're well-intentioned or whether you never heard of this stuff, is whether what I am doing, whether what we are doing is unbalancing nature in some way, and it will eventually bite back, or are we trying to do something to help nature rebalance itself? We have to give nature its space. We can't keep taking it. And so ask that question of yourself with everything you do. Does this help the balance in nature or not? But in total, that's what has to happen. If you run a company, are you interested in how a community can help balance itself with nature? Try that. You might learn a lot. We hope you'll help us do that.